Hello guys, it's your boy Leonic Devaldo, BG, Rodriguez BG. I don't think these fucking names mean much anyway, not these last days. Listen guys, you can see it's our fucking neighborhood. This whole bunch of cars is these niggas playing soccer. You can see them there, they're playing soccer. You know, every time I got an epiphany or thinking or do like some research, these niggas are playing soccer, you know. White people and shit, you know. And quite frankly, I am aware that they are CIA agents, disguised as many nationals, you know, Arabs, Brazilians, all the bullshit, but they're all CIA agents. Look, I was watching a video on TNN, DJ Sotomayor thing. I watched at least 3 videos. One, a woman gave a blowjob to a guy in the courthouse while waiting for court order. The other was a 20-year-old woman, all beautiful black woman, who raped her son. Either gave him a blowjob or sucked his dick. The first one that I said just now, she was using machines into the vagina, machines and shit like that, and doing, like the guy said, amazing things, you know. And I will get to that in just a moment. The third video, and maybe the final of watching that garbage, because I don't watch much that sort of garbage, you know. It was 4 women getting pregnant by a drug lord in jail. 4 women, 4 beautiful, plus a 5th one outside of the cycle in jail. 3 of them got 2 babies with the same guy. 2 babies with the same guy. And one maybe escaped being pregnant. Maybe they make babies. You know, 4 beautiful women working in a jail. 4 women working in a jail. They got pregnant by the drug lord. You know, and the guy had actually drug dealings using those women as drug couriers. The funny thing is, before I was watching a white people's videos, and I saw white girls, you know, cheating and doing things like black girls. And you know, you just gotta watch the porn to see very young white girls, maybe they are 15, 16, 17, 18, and they're taking, you know, whatever, bro. These niggas are laughing, you know, they're CIA agents. They're taking penises, massive penises. I mean, they are massive penises. I have a penises, and I normally go to prostitutes, because of the lifestyle that I live. They, in the beginning, used to stop, you know. In the beginning, they used to kind of like not have sex with me just on account of my penis. Till today, they are afraid of my penis, and it's complication because of my penises, you know. And I take long, and taking long is like 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 7 minutes, you know. And I don't think my penis is that large, but they complain it, and they say I give them pain. Now you get these girls, 17, 18-year-old girls. I mean, the things that go into their vaginas, as a man, that maybe is the new wonder of porn. It's like a daredevil contest that you say, no, she cannot take it. But after so much watching this, you know, I mean, she's gonna take it. You know, the new thing about porn now is liquidation. Liquidation. If the girl is gonna squirt or gonna take out any fluids at all, anything. Anyway, you know, I get this behavior of white women, you know, not just in porn, in these soft shows like Jersey Shore, Grammy Awards, movies, and even some of in the news, you know, in the news, some of how these white girls behave, and it's similar to black girls, you know, it's similar to black girls. Now, I've been doing this research on white women, you know, because it's been a fascinating topic for maybe 20 years, 15 years, that white women are having the same shapes as black women, equally the same shapes, you know. The thing is, they're not just having the same shapes. You know, you're gonna think, oh, they're imitating, but sometimes you actually look at them, it's like they really are behaving like black women. It ain't the intelligence part, the cliche part that I'm talking about. it ain't that. You can see the behavior is like a copy-paste. Mimics is what scientists call that type of behavior. Perfect mimic. Even the way they move, the displacement of their mass weight. The displacement of their mass weight. It is, telltale signs that these girls, they have been adapting to their body, I mean, I call it genetic manipulation, because it's not normal. For a species that 15 years ago had no ass except for Botox, then all of a sudden the offsprings and some old women are like having huge body proportions naturally. No. Look, white woman and black woman, they're behaving psychopathically, psychotic. I've been doing this parallel research. I have 3 research which combine all of this. American obesity, which from obese, these women are becoming what we call fine women, big ass, big boobs, as if on demand, like the law of marketing, demand and supply. They want a big, thick white woman. Now they are getting. Ain't that too much coincidence? Anyway, first research, American overcloaked maturity and body maturity. I mean, American girl from on age 16, she's already sexually fully mature and grown. She looks like a 32, 28-year-old woman. And 32-year-old woman with a face of a young angel woman, but the body of a full-grown woman. And it ain't just the whites, the black girls too. It goes across the obesity scenario. Now they are having body shapes. I don't know about the men, and look, I will do a separate research for men just to get this, but when I do the men research, I definitely will get this, because this one is already proven. The second one, CIA since 1970s control drug supply 100% in the world, whether it be medical drug or recreational, which is basically fuck yourself up addiction drugs. Fuck yourself up addiction drugs. And what I have noticed, can you listen to these guys talk? Can you listen to them? This is what I've been saying. These things are not humans. We look like them. That's a perfect cover. Because when you say, hey, you're not human, cut yourself to see if you bleed. Of course they'll bleed red, because we're the one who look like them. But anyway, that's another issue that I will explore. I'm going to start making these videos like this. It's like this. It's like this. The CIA controls the drug addiction. Guys, I'm making this recording to go with the video that I was just making. I made outside my immediate house. I was in a condominium common area where there's football and etc. You actually can see that in the video. I think the recording had 15, 19 or maybe 14 minutes, because my phone doesn't keep much videos, and you should ask yourself, why aren't we allowed to have a bigger video capacity? I was talking about some very serious problem, something that I red flagged and is very big. It's a telltale signs that there are things among us that are not humans. You want more evidence? Think of when they needed to prove that air exists, that hydrogen exists. They saw the effects of hydrogen by squeezing something that was suspicious to have hydrogen, and then they started seeing the hydrogen. And they started seeing that some creatures actually couldn't breathe air, but could breathe hydrogen or other types of airs that we could not breathe. So air exists. That's the same thing I'm telling you. There are other creatures among us that are not human. Back to my issue. I was talking about the behavior of American women, American women, and not just American women, it's all over the world. Women, how do women not behave? I keep saying that women have been sexually overcloaked, like you overcloak your Pentium 4, Pentium 5 processor, You take a dial and you turn it to maximum, you know? And you get a frenzy in the computer, and even in the fan of the computer trying to cool the computer. And that's how these females are actually having sex. As if they are having sex as if trying to cool their bodies. I mean, this came just now, but now that I also thought about it, what I said just now makes sense. These girls are having sex as if trying to cool their bodies. Just look at them, constantly having sex. The worst one of them will have sex with one group of guys now. When all of them are worn out, she'll calmly dress herself up, move out of that thing, and stumble on another group, and until her night is done. And some of them are actually caught saying in videos that after all that, they still masturbate. Now, I was making the comparison, prostitutes and porn actresses compared to your girlfriend. I mean, what you see in porn, you do to your girlfriend, and she doesn't even cry. She actually laughs and wants more. A prostitute, maybe I'm naive. I'm 33, but maybe I'm naive. A prostitute, you start doing that, she starts feeling pain. And if you actually hear her whisper, you actually hear her say, you hurted her, you physically harmed her. And you know, I was watching TMM or TNN, you know, from TJ Sotomayor, you know, United States. There were 3 cases of women just going wrong, overboard on sexual behavior. And there was the second case of a girl who had sex with their 4-year-old son. I mean, the girl is very, very beautiful. No doubt if she went into an NFL shower room and took her clothes, the guys were gonna jump on her and fucking do her wrong. No doubt. But she fucked her own 4-year-old son. Look, the thing is, the pictures that they show of a woman in court, she looked like she's been drugged or she's drugged or something. Look, the word drone does not mean those flying things that fly on top of us with cameras. The word drone stands for somebody who's been computerized. It's synonymous to zombie, except for drones are not dead. They're just being drugged like CIA drones created by the MK-ULTRA project to behave like sex kitten, like Katy Perry fainting, like Wendy Williams fainting, like Bill Clinton's picture where he's like a zombie, not doing anything, like Hillary Clinton going in a bug out situation and behaving strangely, and people around there acting like they're not seeing her. You know, that's a drone. A drone. Forget robots. They are real people. They just been heavily MK-ULTRA influenced. I myself am a MK-ULTRA victim and still inside the project. All of us are. The whole planet is in an MK-ULTRA lockdown. That's why they're taking people from the wilderness, from the countryside to the cities. Because those in the countrysides can't safeguard themselves from this shit. But they also suffer a lot because they're the first one to be tested with shit that would kill them. Now the worst part is this. I want you to remember the Nephilims in Genesis, the so-called giants who ruled the earth, and their fathers were angels who came to earth just simply for sex. Simply for sex. And they had so much addiction to sex that they killed all the men. And had so much sex that they killed also all the women. And they then vilified the earth into a sex scenario, crossing beast after beast. For that and more details on that shit, which the Bible only gives you 5 sentences, 5 lines, read NAKAMADI Treaty, Book of Enoch. No wonder why the Bible took all these books out, because they were gonna warn us of all this shit. And by the way, Genesis is a bullshit. Try at least read the book of Adam and Eve, the beginning. All these Bible books of the 66 book, the so-called Christian Bible, are bullshit. They're like Disney scripts, even more fucked up than Disney. If you didn't see this yet, then you're one of those religious people who is more like a drone than a real Christian. Look, what I noticed in my research, I've been doing research that American people grow up too fast. At 13, 14, 16, they already look like a 32-year-old woman. And at 40-year-old, 30-year-old, they stop growing. All of a sudden, it's like they stunt on growth. They become stagnant. But the funny thing is, they are still growing, either in mass or in height. It's okay in mass, but height and bone density, no. No. Okay? Height and bone density, no. They stunt. But by stunt, I mean from somebody who at 16 already looked like 32, when they reach 40, you know, all of a sudden they 30, 40, all of a sudden they start growing as if being a midget. You know, midget get to a certain age, then they start growing. Can you see now the comparison? How good the comparison is? And you know what else? They get what animals who are also hormone treated to grow fast, you know, hormonically injected to grow fast, get massive organ failures. Starts with the heart, then the liver, then the kidney. And it's all blaming their diet. Bullshit. The diet is a deception. It is not the diet. The diet might be a deception, and at the same time, the real hormones injection. You know. Just remember, Americans are mandated to vaccinate themselves on a daily basis. They might not get health care, but they will get free vaccinations. Just remember that. So food is not the whole picture here. The second thing, drug addiction. Drug addiction. For the country that arrests everyone and mandates police law globally, it is the most corrupting police. Yes, it is the most corrupting police business. The most less globally desire to act in accordance with other governments to arrest criminals. The most that gives you immunity to criminals, and the most one that actually spreads drugs and subsidize them to their own people. You check that medical drugs from Mexico cannot get into United States, but easily, the excuse is they will overflow and bankrupt American pharmaceutical companies. I think they will, because if you go to Mexico to get medicine and somebody told you that medicine will heal you, cure your pain and heal you, I think the American companies, if they don't do that the same with all the technology and all the shit that they have, obviously they will lose to the Mexican smaller companies, which are actually providing medicine. Yet, so-called addiction drugs, or what they call recreational drugs, you check that this government has double standards. They call it recreational drugs. The death drugs, the deadly drugs that give you deadly lifestyle of addiction and submission and a state of subjugation. And yeah. And they spread all over the fucking thing. And their government agents, their secret agents, most powerful secret agents, is well known and documented in the whole world today to be the 100% controller of drugs in the whole world. 100%. 100%. Whether it be medicinal drugs or so-called addiction drugs or what they call recreational drugs. It's the CIA. It is the CIA who controls all drugs flow. And my third research, which is actually this second one, is not the third. Let's just skip to the second one. On this second research, given that the CIA is the main control of drugs and America have overwhelming drug addiction, and that black America in the 70s is experiencing the same factors that white America is experiencing currently now because of drug addiction, school dropouts, lack of empathy, lack of fucking family unit cohesion, lack of fucking people finishing school and university, even though there's economical research to do it. Black people also had economic research at that time, and they were black universities at that time, but they were just dropping out of school. Still today, that's the problem. Lack of morality in general due to the overridden brain safety guards. I mean, you're addicted. You need to get that. So you're going to sell everything, including your body, including some sell their organs. It's like they no longer think. Drones. Yeah. And etc., etc. A lot of bankruptcy families and bankruptcy family members. Children being born already toxical dependent or drug addict. I mean, the guy came out of his mother's vagina. He's already a drug addict. Inside his mother, he's already a drug addict. You know? Broken family units because the father and the mother died during or before or after birth of the child due to drug addiction. Retiree, meaning old person taking care of young person or young babies as if they were their firstborn. Meaning, you know, your grandmother is 70. She'll take care of you from 0 months because your mother doesn't have milk until you're probably 15 when she dies. And she's made an extra effort to groom you and to grow you. That's why she lived that far to 90s or 80s. You know? So the thing of this, it just doesn't stop there. The thing of this is, if you ever look at the youth and you are self-aware or you are awake and you say, what the fuck is going on with this youth? It's in your face. They have no guidance. They are computers that the operating system was so fucked up by viruses and malware that the reason why they know father and mother is because they know that human beings have sex to make kids. So they have, some of them don't even know their fathers and their mothers because the mother died or is never present. So much drug addiction that the mother is never present. Not just white, blacks, Chinese. I mean, yeah, you know. Go to Afghanistan and see this happening. Go to Afghanistan and see this happening. In a Muslim country. In Malaysia, in Thailand, go to these countries and see this happening. Go to China where the people do not leave the factories. They only see their kids once a year. How can you expect that parent to produce bondage, you know, with that kid? Or with anybody. As they grow is as they make other kids grow. So you look at this. Just look at this. Look at this. There are some kids who actually in China don't see their parents for 5, 6 years. Now look at this. The thing is, whoever is manipulating us, whatever we are, they know by destroying the middle-aged people and making teenagers parents and overwhelming the old with their restless children to teenagers era until the old is dead. They know that the young man grows massively deficient and disabled psychologically, or what you call psychological, or I call mentally. Psychology is the fucking devil shit. No, there ain't nothing, it's a deception. There is nothing called psychology. It's mentality. It's mentally. And psychology and mentality are books inside biology. They are not separate from biology. I give you the definition, my definition of biology, of psychology. Psychology or mentality is the software that the system will build itself around a hardware and its capabilities. Meaning, if you're normally big, its capability and the environment set for that hardware. Its capability, meaning if you're a huge person, you normally will have the tendency to overpower others. Anyway, that's just one example. I'm not going to go there because I need to get to my third research. You know, look, I don't know what my third research I've been forgetting since I did the video. It was 5 minutes ago. It's now 15 minutes that I've been doing this recording. It's going to be a long one, you know. I don't know what's the third one, but it was very important. But I'm going to jump to the conclusion. Remember again the conversation of Book of Enoch and the Nephilims? Now, this thing is all tied up to this thing, Disclosure Project. I think the third research was the Nephilims. You know, the Bible Nephilims, that was the third research. Read the Book of Enoch and see that all we are living today, in Enoch time, it was equal. And when you read the Book of Enoch, if you're a white person, don't think of Europe or America or Australia. Think of Mexico, Africa, and all these atrocities that you keep hearing shocks you. You see in the Book of Enoch. So you see, it's not just Revelation that was predicting the future. Book of Enoch wasn't predicting, was saying that this was done due to the factor of inclusion in our society of beings who are not human beings and have other tendencies and overall more advanced knowledge which they use to corrupt us. And this is a fact known to all sociologists and all biologists. It's called species takeover. There's a name like that, species takeover. And it always is like that. The older species overwhelm the passive, much smaller or less, even can even be bigger. Less aware other species, or less aggressive species. They always have an advantage over the older one. And that will break that ecosystem. Even if the species survive a physical attack from that beginning species, whether it be by numbers or by sheer mass size, it will not survive the break of its ecosystem. So you see big fish dying by overwhelming numbers of very, very small fish. That's just one example, and I leave it at that because I give too much example and waste too much time. So, yeah, this is my third research actually, the so-called Nephilims, which would tie up to this so-called aliens disclosure project from Stephen Gurry and all these fucking demonic niggas. And you shouldn't, look, religion is not true. This thing, reptilians, they're not religious, they're not Nephilims. God and all that shit is the reptilians. They're aliens. Yes, they're extraterrestrial. They're aliens. God never said, I'm not an extraterrestrial. Never. He actually assumes he's extraterrestrial. God is a title for governor. Like in the colonial power, the governor of Mississippi. Yeah, that's God's title. Do the research. Read the Bible without trying to excuse God. Read it like if you were reading the books of your government, putting God like a human government, and you see the overwhelming amount of coincidence, congruences, and matching in a point. Like when two graphs meet in a point, that's congruency. Huh? 3 research. Mass overwhelming obesity, which turned into maturity and body shape of woman. I mean, all women now are like being drawn. Latinas, you don't even, and you know CIA overwhelmingly raped South America. Testing them, starving them. They really had the whole bowl in South America and in Africa. You know, the second research, you know, CIA drug control, 100% drug control. The third, the so-called Nephilims and the end of the world policies. Ain't no end of the world. It's just the destruction of this planet. If you're willing to know me about this, like this video and fucking give me emails or trying to contact me, I will enlighten you into this matter. The so-called end of the world is not the end of the world. It's the end of the planet where human beings, because we don't have another habitat, will be completely dependent on God. Just like a white woman is completely dependent on whatever other white or non-white pimp that owns her for sexual purpose. Just like a sex traffic victim completely is dependent of that sex trafficker. Do you know what's the tactic of the sex trafficker? Do you know? Well, it is equal to the end of the world scenario. But let me enlighten you. The sex trafficker grabs the girl in miles, continents away from his own. Like he comes to Africa, Europe, or whatever. And he takes the girl to Asia. After being blindfolded, not knowing which plane she traveled on, and raped, what they call bareback. This is a practice from slavery. So you can see the enemy is ancient as God. You start seeing the fucking religion. Yeah, you want to accept Jesus, you better take 2 steps back and look at Jesus for who he really. Anyway, that's another topic that should contact me, because I cannot just give you very small pieces of these topics. No, I was a Jehovah's Witness for 22, 25 years. So I know what I'm talking about the Bible. You know? Now look. See, I cannot talk to a lot of things because I get lost. Look, the sex trafficker takes the girl from one continent to another. You know what's that? It's to make her not be ambiental or local awareness, so that she will not grow local awareness. It also doesn't help the victim that the location, the physical location where the sex trafficker is gonna put the victim is fully controlled and corrupted by the sex trafficker. So no one will help her. After 3 attempts of running away, After 3 attempts of running away, the girl actually realizes that because the police, the neighbors, everyone will be on that to tell the sex trafficker where she is, who she's trying to run away, and even arrest the girl and put her back in prostitution. The bareback thing that I was talking about is a sex practice of breaking slaves and females and males through over-raping and desecration of the individual through sex, normally done to males, but these days it's done to females by crossing them with animals or over-raping them in family communities, especially, I know how this is done. I'm African and I've seen it. It happened to my grandmother, it happened to my mother, and it's happening to me. Especially in front of other females, if she's a female, the victim. If he's a male, it's like this rapper new shit that is coming out, that they get raped in the ass by many other men constantly for every rapper CD that makes, for every CD that makes success that way, you know, to break them, to break their sovereignty. And they always have other males watching, just on the watching thing. And females, also other females watching and insulting them. That's to belittle them, to destroy them, and to make them feel like shit. So if you're a sex worker victim, first thing you must do is explicitly tell everyone what they did to you. Don't spare a fucking detail, because they will use your shame against you, especially in court. That's why the courts are corrupted. Because of overwhelming failure, courts started to side with the criminals. As they say, it's more profitable. You know? So to this bareback thing, they've been winning a lot. They win politics, they win religious people. Basically, bareback thing is blackmail on an extreme level. You know? So, like I said, the real objective of this whole female madness and male madness, most males are just becoming homosexual and doing equally crazy sexual shit with their assholes as females are. Oh boy, it's bad. Just give me a minute. Look, I need to be fast because of the video mustn't be big, otherwise you guys don't watch it, don't read it. Look, the thing is, this is all experiment and an application of the same experiment. The fail rate of this experiment probably is 70 to 92. The success rate. Because people like me are being chased down and hunted down. We're not just being experimented upon. We're being tested and know why the experiment fails on us. Why the experiment fails on us. I figured out this today watching this video. TMM TJ Sotomayor is a black guy who makes a CNN style news channel about these events, and he thinks it's a joke, but I don't think he realized what it is. But he did the right thing. He's documenting it, and that's how I could see it on the same channel. 3 cases and other from Scary Movies Ever, KJ, and other channels that I follow that YouTube is closing down on. Look at the coincidence. So they are trying to stop us from getting information of what's going on. Now, I put a trap on Alex Jones, and I'll explain this in another recording. And I'm going to see who Alex Jones is. You know, I gave him 3 days. Today is the first day. Anyway, Alex Jones, yes. Alex Jones, InfoWars, Alex Jones. If you listen to this, and if somebody gets you winds of this, call me and put me on your show. Secure the line which we will talk, because that line will break in a lot of times. You know. Call me by 3 fucking lines so that there will be no fucking breakage of line. Listen. The objective of the experiment is to turn the whole world into a whole red light planet. And again, the Nephilims thing, if it didn't, will come back at you. They were sexually obsessed. And our planet, human society, is completely sexually obsessed and going in that direction. In the olden days, people realized that sexualizing like that made humanity stagnate. And don't tell me Africans were like that. That's not it. It's actually the white society and these so-called developed privileged societies. You know, for example, the Illuminati, they have a lot of resources, but they do not produce virtually any technology or knowledge that helps humanity. What they do is not even outsourced, it's literally steal, experiment, inhumane experiment, because that's how dumb people get the information. Try and error, cut and dice, you know. They're not just raping us, sticking shit to us, probing us with electricity, and putting things in our head. They don't know what makes us tick. That's their way of seeing things, doing things. So much for the all-knowing God. So much for Satan, who was there when we were created. Don't you think it's a little odd that even though Satan that they say they worship is not God, still needs to know how we function at the psychological level after 4 trillion or 4,000, as the religious people say, years of observing us from the very beginning of us until now? And by the way, the most, look. Let me just finish with the Nephilim things. We are being sexually obsessed. And it's not just us, it's the woman. The woman is the primary target. Forget the family, forget the thing. They don't give a fuck about your babies. They don't give a fuck about you, the man. They just give a fuck about plowing a vagina as much as they want and the vagina not dying. Watch the Japanese cartoons, Return of the Overfiend, Adventure Boy. Those all very sexual oriented anime things, and you find what I'm talking about. Now you're gonna say, what a cartoon has to do with this thing? No, you check that cartoons and movies are normally aspirations or opinions of the people who actually write those movies first, and then the directors on how those writings are applied. Do I need to say more to those of you who are awake and intelligent? Like the Matrix. We are now all thinking we are living in the Matrix. So the woman, Stephanie something, is a black woman, not the Wachowski brother, it's a black woman. Go and research who really did the Matrix and the Terminator. And it's the same theme. Living in an alternative reality or deception. So the woman could see from that time the society was going in one direction and being heavily deceived by a system. She just never connected with religious system and all the Jesus shit. We will get to Jesus one other time. For now, just listen to this. Listen, the point and the objective of this whole application of the experiment, which the CIA was conducting under the MK-ULTRA project. That's why you see Lady Gaga, Katy Perry, Britney Spears admitting they are nothing more than sex kitten dolls, MK-ULTRA projects. They were the deceiving ploys. Even I am a deceiving ploy. If you have heard of me and know me, I'm a deceiving ploy. While you were looking at us, you didn't saw yourself and the rest of your community being fucked up subliminally. Everywhere you go in Europe, you see a billboard of a white woman or black woman or a woman, in lingerie, bending over or in sexual position. All these Grammys give Grammys to over-sexualize sex movie. I mean, it's a little sex scene, just a kiss or something, but it's over-sexualized. I mean, fuck, it's like sex on steroids. Anyway, the whole point is to make the whole planet into a whorehouse. And it ain't a whore, hey, give me money, I'll fuck with you. It's to make women sexual zombies. Forget about dead zombies. Sexual zombies. Women are putting things in the vagina. I mean, we didn't know they could do that. They're literally reenacting birth. I mean, when they take out babies out, is one goal. They are literally stroking their vaginas to an afro, which is the frequency movement, back and forth, or up and down, with huger things than their baby's size when they had babies, or even girls who never had babies. I mean, you ever heard the porn type called fisting? Fisting. Before it started with 2 fingers or just the hand. Today is feet ties, men ties, bent legs, knees, knees getting inside the vagina, or double hands inside the vagina. These women are having sex like they need to cool down their body. Like if they need to shut down something that is bothering them. Like if they have the itch. But now, itch normally hurt or bothers you. Now imagine an itch of pleasure. Funny, talking about itch. have you noticed that the drug addicts, when they don't take drugs, they get itch? And the only way to cure the itch, that's the main thing that bothers drug addicts, the itch. The itch. The main thing that bothers drug addicts is the itch. And you know what they do to cure the itch? Get drugs. That's when they stabilize and stay passive. That's when they cool down, because their temperature do go up. So funny that the CIA, who's been experimented people in MK-ULTRA project with LSD, acid, and etc., and saw all the effects of drugs on human body and still conducting experiment, hasn't made this connection. And the so-called Psychological Association of America and of the world, because America controls the world in psychological whatever and police and all this important key scientific shit, never got these connections. And me, a bum ass who didn't finish grade 12 because of psychological reason, because they kicked me out of grade 12, so that I wouldn't actually get an engineer's degree. Because if I can do this now with that degree, with that amount of education, what would I do with the engineer degree? They would have to kill me. But they underestimated me. They let me live until now. And they underestimate that they're blocking my technology, that my shit won't come out. It will come out. So can you see this shit? The objective, and you must, again, I talk about the NEPHILINS, right? Now look where you're gonna believe in me. The Disclosure Projects. The movie that earned the most Grammy in 2018, The Water Something, about a fucking retarded woman, and do apologize for mentally or physical disabled people, I just want to make my point. Having sex with completely a fish. And women are the first people who hate the smell of fish. Women. If you smell bad, women don't like you. They don't even like fish scales. And in this movie, a fishman, this is not Aquaman. This is a fishman with fins on his back that can cut her. Fucks that woman. I know there's a sex scene on that. That's Hollywood. And the sex scene is to make sure girls are okay with having sex with beasts. And by the way, the Angel YouTube, which is closing down channels on false news, is infringing on a lot of laws, in global laws, police laws. YouTube is listing pedophilia. That's why they close a lot of channels that tried and tell them that and reported that. YouTube, sorry about my alarm. YouTube is eliciting animal porn. You get to this website, the picture is a woman literally having sex with an animal. Then they show the woman taking care of the animal and scared. The way women are scared of having sex in porn, in amateur porn, the same way. You know that woman is eliciting sex with the horse, the dog, the whatever, the way she's treating the animal. She even has some sexual Marilyn Monroe type poses with the animal. And some guys taking pictures and filming the whole of it. Young, very attractive Asian girls. And you know what's the main common thing that really gets suspicious? In very, 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 very poor countries, such as Laos, Bangladesh, Cambodia, and Vietnam. From the language, you can get that area. Very poor areas. Very poor area where prostitution is very rampant also. And also, if you noticed it, whatever, bro. I don't need to speak anymore. This video is going too big. Stupid sex joke just came to my head. Anyway, I don't do jokes like that when I'm serious. I don't. It's them. Sex. YouTube. So, Alex Jones, that's the trap I made to Alex Jones. Who are you? Because you have lawyers. And you can actually now own YouTube. Not like blackmail YouTube, but legally own YouTube. Because YouTube is a public service company. Though they say that the company does not responsibilize for the content that it is put on the internet. But on the internet, that's bullshit. And that's where that's where Alphabet or Google has lost their vessel YouTube. Their spaceship YouTube. How so? Because if YouTube does not responsibilize for the content that people put on the internet, yet has community rules, which will reflect the global rule, even though you're not an engineer, but if you go to an engineer site and you say, hey, these guys are talking shit about engineers, YouTube will close that channel, which is happening now. Therefore, it's not YouTube bears the responsibility of those video clips. YouTube is liable for neglecting consumer rights and protection while watching that. Like, for example, childs are watching pedophilic, like girls and boys, pedophilic, now that there's these things called homosexuals and transgenders, pedophilic content. That's one. Gone. Done. That's the first one that will kill YouTube. YouTube. The objective is not to destroy YouTube, but to commandeer, like in Pirates of the Caribbean, the vessel YouTube, and we have a communication hub, you know? But anyway, the second, since YouTube is offended by some people who mostly are trolls and others are speaking the truth or have an alternative opinion, we should be investigated on the mainstream media before YouTube can actually act on them, either by the American government or not, since YouTube claims to be a private company providing a public service. You see where YouTube fucks up? That's actually number 2 and number 3 at the same time. So YouTube cannot not act on mainstream media or the American government solicitations. It cannot, especially on non-investigated issues, such that the shooting in Florida, some of the students were actually actors enacting a shootout, you know, because it hasn't been investigated. What about the North Tomcoms incident in Vietnam War that started the Vietnam War? What about Nero burning Rome and say he didn't burn Rome? What about Hitler burning the hashtag flag? So the American government is no innocent. That's 4. That YouTube now belongs to the public. And Google and Alphabet will still have to fund YouTube maintenance and growth. Because we will not take that much of YouTube. We will take all of YouTube, but they have to maintain it. So Alex Jones, we will see who you are after this recording. The fourth of all is that if isolate child porn and animal sex, which is globally outlawed religiously and non-religiously, and I am right now offended, then YouTube has broken its own closure and community laws. Because it's not like those videos are stuck up into a private section where they says, if you want to activate this, do it on your own accord. No, it's not there. And age is not the only infringement capacity or domain that companies and service providers should not breach, you know? Because we all concentrate on age difference and pedophilia, and I said, no, even adults can be protected of garbage that they don't want to see. So YouTube is fucked. And Alex Jones being given a court summit where all the other YouTubers have not been given a court summit. Strange. Very strange. But now, Alex Jones, I gave you YouTube, and you have to make YouTube a public shit. Everyone must own an equal share of YouTube. Not even if everyone has to own 0.111, especially the ones that proven themselves to be truthers, like me and all the target individuals who are really target individuals. They should come out. They should come out to come and talk. And like Kafaka Winston, scariest movie ever, Black Child, Richard from Boston, and all these guys. Otherwise, if none of you actually move on this that I'm saying, then all of you are nothing more than puppets, fakes, and people who are hoarding the traffic to YouTube and Facebook. So that when you have a lot of the traffic, you control all the traffic, you actually break the bridge, and all of us are dead in the water. A trap, in other words. Because you've now seen this trap in Facebook and Twitter. Even Donald Trump is helpless in that trap. The mainstream media is another fact of those traps. Anyway, this recording has 41 and some minutes. So I'm gonna stop it here and join it with the video and put it right now on the 6th of March 2017. By the way, I stopped playing PlayStation because the screams of the beasts and of the aliens and the shooting is done with real animals being cut down to think. That's like satanic ritual right there. I mean, you talk about spiritual cooking. We've been playing video game cooking, spiritual cooking. Anyway, thank you. Lunique Valdo, Rodrigues BG, Luanda Angola, Condomínio Caju, Rua 21, Avenida 21 de Janeiro, Condomínio Caju, Rua Longa dentro do condomínio, G03, Street Longa inside the condomínio, Condominium Caju, Main Street where the condominium site is, 21st January Avenue, or Street of Samba, or Rua da Samba. You can actually see me in Google Earth, and you can actually see my house in Google Earth. If there's any other human beings there and not crazy, contact me. Because just you contacting me, these niggas are gonna keep away from me. They don't wanna make me known.